Well, tonight we've got a pretty interesting speaker. He's probably going to take us reminisce back in the old days of downtown Jeffersonville, like what it was, and he's trying to put it together now like it was. We don't want too much of the future of being too far advanced where we can't see where we came from. And I think Jay tonight is going to tell us that he's going to keep Jeffersonville the way it is. Now, it's Jay Ellis. He's the executive director of Main Street. It's a local nonprofit organization, and they work to revitalize downtown Jeffersonville. Now, Jay grew up in Jeffersonville, graduated from Jeffersonville High School. He worked for the United States Congressman Lee Hamilton on his campaign staff. Now, this is the good news. Next to being an IU graduate, he's a U of L graduate. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree, a master's degree in public administration from the University of Louisville. And now some of you guys, now Bill, you probably know his great-great-great-grandfather. Tracy. That was his great-grandfather. He was a city councilman in Jeffersonville downtown. And his great-grandfather, his grandfather, Northern, was a city councilman also. You may know Northern.
I remember that.
Okay, but his great-great-great-grandfather was also a city councilman. I think you two was in kindergarten together.
You know what that means?
Okay, and you've already met Jay's wife, Kim, and his two daughters, Emma and Eva. So this is it, Jay Ellis.
Thank you, Jimmy. Is there any way to read that?
Or did it?
If you guys. Okay. Let me see. I might scoot this. Thank you. I appreciate that. As Jimmy mentioned, I am a graduate of Jeffersonville High School, and I think I'd be remiss if, since my principal from my elementary school is here, if I didn't also mention that I am a alum of Riverside. Mr. Crawl was my principal there. Let's keep it down in front here. Thanks for having me here, folks. I've got a PowerPoint presentation here, and I really I want to talk about some serious issues. I really would love to have your input. I would value that. So let's get started. The first slide here. Now, who do you guys have on that first game there, on that bracket? I haven't filled mine out all the way. No, seriously. I kid. But let's get down to business here. Oh, wait a minute. I was running out of time, and I did not have time to write a joke, but I do have one. How do you know when you're at the Optimist Club?
When you've
The
been
glasses are always half full, right? Oh, wow. It's just crickets out there. Seriously, I work for a nonprofit organization called Jeffersonville Main Street, and we are working and have been for a number of years to revitalize the downtown area. And one of the projects that we're working on right now is called the Pearl Street Infill Revitalization Project. We are relocating 4 homes that are in the way of the Big 4 Station Park. And instead of having those homes torn down and sending all that material to the landfill, we wanted to preserve them. So we got a grant from the state of Indiana to move these 4 homes, and we're going to relocate them to the corner of Pearl and Maple Street in downtown Jeffersonville. The one on the far end, the yellow one on the left, is going to be the new home of Jeffersonville Main Street. So we'll have an office, and then we're going to work out a leasing plan for the other 3 properties. But we're really excited about that. And this kind of gives you an idea. If you can see that, you know what? Oh, I thought I left this in my other suit. But Right here, this is Play Square or Colston Park. And then this is, these are where the homes are located. This is Market Street. This is Pearl Street, and we're gonna take these three and one here, and we're gonna, once we get Duke Energy to move the power lines here and here, we're gonna take all the houses around this way. We're gonna take this one this way and these three this way and come under the bridge and then come in back here and set them all right there facing Pearl. So we're really eager to get going on this. Hopefully by early May, we'll have all those houses relocated there to Pearl. Another project that we're working on with the city is wayfinding signage, trying to install new signs to direct people to the different amenities and attractions in downtown. And these will be going up in stages over the next year or two, so keep a lookout for those. As you know, we've added an ice rink in downtown the last few years, and that's been a nice attraction. It's kind of added a nice ambiance and charm to downtown of yesteryear, and we get a lot of positive feedback on that. And we're very fortunate that the City Council and the Department of Redevelopment and the Enterprise Association, they all chip in money to pay for that. This is a huge project that's going to have a momentous impact on downtown, is the Big 4 station and of course the Big 4 ramp bridge. And this is a pavilion that hopefully we'll be using for the farmers market. And as you can see when I pointed earlier, one of those houses was located here and the other three were right in there. And that's from last fall, so that's kind of a picture of the Big 4 ramp under construction. They're much further along today. And as a result of the Big 4, we're seeing a new influx of businesses. We've got Big 4 Burgers. They took an old bar and totally renovated that, and they've been very successful. They've got great business, and you're going to have even more when Big 4 ramp opens. Another one that's coming soon, they're trying to get open by Thunder, and that's they're getting very close, is Red Yeti Brewing Company. That's very exciting. They took the old Sam Cox Antiques building and did a major renovation on that, needed a lot of work. Another project that's obviously that you all know about, that's going to have a big impact, is the new bridge coming right through downtown. It wasn't enough that we had one major interstate project coming right through the historic district. We needed another. So that's going to come very close, as you know, and you can see down the river they're building that, making fast progress. But we'll have them and the construction crews with us for about another 2 years. And there's another view of what the bridge will look like with the Kennedy Bridge in the background. And again, here's just the routes that the new bridge will take. Chestnut Street, we worked with the city to get a grant from the state of Indiana to make Chestnut Street a transition area, a gateway from the Big 4 bridge to Spring Street. And so this is what it looked like before, and you can see you had this guardrail here, there was no sidewalk in here, and just kind of a mishmash of trees and things like that. And this is the plan for it, and we pretty much stayed true to that plan with street trees, bike lane, new sidewalks, bioswales, benches, trash cans, and that sort of thing. This is another wonderful project that we're working on. It's called the Gateway Arch, and we are working with the Urban Enterprise Zone to install this over Chestnut Street as a continuation of that streetscape and making it a gateway into Spring Street. So when people are coming off the Big 4, they'll see this ramp, and these elements here kind of pay homage to the Big 4 bridge, and then we're going to have lights over here to give it some antique charm and ambiance. And that's the distance from the road to there, to the bottom, is about 18 feet, just to give you a sense of scale. And from there to there is about 42 feet. So we're eager to get that underway. Hopefully we'll have that installed and fabricated and all that jazz by, I would hope by mid to late May. And then here's the Sesquicentennial Parade, 150 years, better known as the Bill Scott Parade. And I'm just having some fun. The point of these slides is just, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir, but just, downtown was the center of social life and civic activity and business for a long time, and that's where everything took place. And then we had major development shifts. You had the advent of the interstates and the suburbs and strip malls, and so everybody started shifting out of downtowns all across America. And you started seeing the start of mega stores and your Walmarts and all that. And because of that, we saw disinvestment in our downtown. I'm sure this was not too many years ago, 15, 18 years ago. This is the way parts of downtown looked, and I think we tend to forget that because we see it every day, but we have come a long way. We've made a lot of progress in the last 15 or 20 years trying to turn things around. And I'm not going to go over every line here, but just the cost of an empty building, this just gives you an example of the cost to a community of having a vacant storefront and why it's so important to fill those up. So a plan was needed. Back when Dale Orem was mayor, they talked about, for years before that, they were talking about ways, how can we make downtown come back? And they got a plan together, they talked to Judy O'Bannon, and they'd heard about this Main Street approach, and so they decided to give it a shot. So we formed a Main Street organization back in the late 1980s. And main streets are all based, there's about 1,800 of them across the country, and we're all based on these 4 points: organization, design, promotion, and economic restructuring. You can just see there's some of the different, and Jimmy and I were just talking about Beaufort, and I see Beaufort's logos on there. And this is just a great example over a 30-year period, the investment across America that these organizations working with local businesses and local government, the impact we've had, $51 billion invested in downtown districts, net gain of almost 100,000 businesses, jobs 436,000, and building rehabs 221,000. So we are trying, and that we are seeing a lot of progress and a lot of success, but it's an uphill battle. And just to give you a quick, this is the overview of organization and some of the things that our organization will do. We, form partnerships with businesses, we have volunteers, local government, schools, etc. We do fundraising, manage the finances and operation. And this just shows you a lot of the stakeholders that we consider to be part of downtown. And it doesn't matter where you live or where your business is located, it's your downtown. And that's the way we look at it. It should be a point and a place of civic pride, and we hope that you embrace that too. And there's some of our volunteer board of directors. The downtown merchants I spoke of, they're critical to all of our events and projects. Here's one of our board members, Les Albro, out selling Shim's caramel corn at the concerts in the park. So. Design is another element of Main Street, landscaping, historic preservation, architecture, etc. These are some great before and after shots. This was this shop here before renovation, and then you can see we revealed these transom windows that were hidden by this large sign. They were just sitting back there, and now this is a very successful antique and gift shop. And again, this is another before and after. Here was a a building covered in permastone. It had suffered through a fire. The windows were boarded up. And now this is the same building, post-development, and with an infill development on that empty lot. This is a building that Main Street had purchased. We got a loan, and we purchased this. It was Norman's Bric-a-Brac, and it was kind of a great little junk shop, and you could get everything from shovels to Elvis sunglasses, anything in there. And we purchased it, and we did an RFP and sold it to a private developer who came in and restored the building, and now it's the home to Perfection Coffee Shop, and we've got a lot of offices on the upper floor. This is another before and after. This building had some disreputable uses, and then it's remained vacant for a while. We had a private developer come in, and now it's 2 townhomes, and it's a great asset to the residential part of downtown. Again, Adrian and Company Bakery and Cafe, they've recently, right here, have added outdoor seating, and they've got it so you can open some of these windows during the nice weather. They can have those open. That's a great investment in downtown. And here's another shot of that burned out building, the before and after. There's the old JCPenney department store, and as you know, we suffered a major fire there, lost half of that block, and they came back and reinvested and right in downtown and added a new building that really complements the historic features in the district. This was the old River Falls Motel and Lounge, and today it is apartments. And again, it's just, keep turning and pushing forward and trying to make a difference here. And I guess the reason for a lot of these is just to remind you that we have come a long way. This is the old, well, at one time it was the Haven House building, and then after some fires it stayed vacant, and a private investor came along, and we were able to save this one, and now it's a great inn, bed and breakfast. I put the library on here because a few years ago they did a major reinvestment in the downtown district, and they added a second floor and more space and conference rooms, and that's important. That's smart growth. They're reinvesting in the historic part of town, and we're thrilled that they would do that. This is new construction. There was a 4-story Queen Anne gem of a building there. There was a major fire in downtown back in the early 90s, and so we lost that, and Dr. Fleming had come in and rebuilt that, and we have a florist and gift shop here and residence upstairs. This is infill development where the old Stouse Hotel used to be, there at Riverside and Spring. Horner Novelty, again, totally burned down in that fire and did a really complimentary infill development on Spring Street. Streetscape improvements, that's something else we're involved in. That's sidewalks, street lights, banners, that sort of thing. And so we're trying to stay on top of those. And we did this project back in 98, 99, redid the sidewalks, and it's been 15 or 16 years, and there's actually talk now of looking at this again, of trying to, some of these trees are buckling the sidewalks, and coming in and redoing sidewalks and looking at tree plantings and things like that. Bike racks, I sit on the Jeffersonville Public Arts Commission, and we're doing all kinds of interesting things. We're going to have artistic bike racks and benches. Storefront Improvement Program is a grant program that Main Street offers. We offer grants up to $10,000 if you match it dollar for dollar. And it's just been a real shot in the arm for businesses that want to dress up the curb appeal and the facade of their building. And this is a great example. Hoosier Hardware took advantage of this program and just really made this building stand out and look great. The Front Porch Project, that's another grant program. Again, this is through a partnership with the Urban Enterprise Association. It's been a wonderful investment in the residential areas in downtown. It's a matching grant, dollar for dollar, and it's to help fix up homes in the downtown. And there's a before and after. I mean, that's a pretty dramatic turnaround there. Promotion, that's another thing we do. We're